another deep dish dinner time, okay? Tonight we're going to have chicken sausage jambalaya over white rice. Now I've already cooked my white rice, and when I cook my white rice, I added salt to the water to give it flavor. The first thing we're gonna do to get started is take a tablespoon of bacon grease. We're gonna allow that to melt down, and while that's melting down, we're gonna add to that a pound of already cooked cut chicken breasts, and we're also gonna add a pound of sausage. Let this cook, let it brown. Once it's done browning, we're gonna take that meat out of the pot, allow it to rest, and to that oil, we're gonna add a half cup of bell pepper, a half cup of diced red and white onion. We have a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes and a 14-ounce can of diced tomatoes. And we're gonna add all that to the pot along with 2 cups of chicken broth. Then right here we have a tablespoon and a half of garlic powder, a tablespoon and a half of onion powder. Then we're gonna add a half teaspoon of black pepper, and also we're gonna add a half tablespoon of Creole seasonings. Now the reason why I'm not adding salt is because the Creole seasonings already have a salty flavor. Now mind you, once you finish cooking it and you see where it may need to have a little bit more salt added to taste, then that will be completely on you. But let's go ahead and get started, and we're gonna see how this all gonna finish up right here on Deep Dishes.
Sizzle. That sausage and chicken look good.
All right, everyone, and we are back. Once I was done with browning my meat, taking it out, letting it rest, adding everything that I told you to add to the pot, I added the meat back into the pot, and I allowed everything to just kind of cook down for like maybe 20 minutes on low heat. Now, with this, I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little bit in a bowl of our cooked white rice, okay? Which you do have to drain and rinse off, okay? And we're just gonna add a little bit of the jambalaya. Well, like a lot, because I kind of like mine with a great tomatoey
That look delicious.
flavor. No, maybe too hot, so you may have to just blow it. But anyway, this is the finished product. I would taste it, but it is way too hot and smoky. But I know that it's delicious, everybody. I hope you get ready to write in and just let me know what you think about it, okay? Enjoy.
We definitely have some drama going on, some sibling drama going on. Kenya and Zion had an argument this morning, okay? And Zion's a little upset right now. And we just keeping it honest, we keeping it real. It's a part of our devotion. And you can speak how you feel. I want you to just share how you feel.
Say everything how I feel.
You can say how you feel, go ahead. Speak how you feel, Zion. Speak how you feel. Okay, say how you feel. Can you go first?
I mean, people need to realize that when someone goes out of their way to put a smile on your face, and they didn't do it perfect, not because they didn't realize it, you still need to be like, thank you. Like, but this is how I do like it, but thank you. Instead of getting angry, and then when someone tells you about yourself, don't get prideful. Just be like, you know what, you're right. I see what you're talking about. I apologize. Like, me and my dad had a disagreement today. I was supposed to help him edit at 5. One of my friends from Cali was back in town, and I was talking to them, hanging out with them, and I messed up, and I didn't come home till 7, and I had to swallow my pride and be like, I apologize. And it didn't go that way this morning with Zion, but that's just basically what happened.
Okay, and just say how you feel, Zion.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I respect everything that Kenya said. I know I was wrong for yelling at Kenya. I was being prideful. I should have said thank you. The only thing I didn't like, once again, was that, like, I didn't like how, like, you were saying that, like, I didn't know I ate this and that when I eat it every single time Mom makes breakfast, and then Mom was just yelling and yelling and yelling. That's the only thing I did not like. That's the only thing I didn't like. So.
Okay. Mom, you want to say something? Hold on. Mom, go ahead and say something.
Yeah, I did. I raised my voice. I was upset because one thing that I wanted you to understand, and you were not listening, you were very defensive and disrespectful with your tone and attitude. And I was trying to explain to you that when someone do something nice for you, you don't show attitude. You show gratitude. You say thank you without the complaining. And that's simply what I was trying to share. And when I was saying it and I was calm about it, it angered me when you were defending yourself opposed to listening to what I was sharing with you. Because Zanya, my job as a mother is to help nurture you in the character that you need to walk in. And I'm not saying I was right. I was wrong for getting in my flesh and being upset about it. But as a mother, and when a child is disrespectful to a parent, that bothers me. So I admit that I was upset about it.
Okay, now, go ahead, Zion, say, and because go ahead.
No, because, like, everybody in that situation was wrong there. Like, everybody was wrong there, but you was just only, like, Kia, you were yelling. Everybody was wrong there.
Now,
but, like,
let me talk about it. Okay, so this is great because in family you have challenges. You see what I'm saying? There is not a strong family that don't have conflict. And we had some conflict this morning. Okay? And I want to talk about sibling rivalry. I want to talk about attitude. When you get frustrated, should you open up to anger? Okay? Because I understand what you're saying, Zion. You were wrong. You're not saying that you wasn't wrong, but you were saying that Kenya showed some anger toward you and your mother was upset as well. Okay? Did y'all get upset as well? Although you were responding.
It was just upset.
Oh, okay. So you said it's just upset. Okay. All right. And sometimes it takes time. I mean, I hear what you're saying. But what I want to talk about is Cain and Abel. Okay? I went to the extreme, but no. No. It's a point here.
No,
it's a point here. Okay. In Genesis, the 4th chapter, starts at the 3rd verse. It says, "In the course of time, Cain brought to the Lord an offering of the fruit of the ground. And Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat portions. And the Lord had regard for Abel and his offering, but for Cain and his offering he had no regard." This is the part I want to talk about. Because some people can talk, you can talk in this scripture, you could talk about really like why did God, and there is some disagreement over, why did God feel that Cain, offering was, more honorable than Abel's offering. I said that incorrect. Abel's offering was more honorable than Cain's. People have their different perspectives on it. I heard one, and I kind of leaned toward the one where the perspective that Abel offered the first of his offering, so it was more. It was a greater devotion. And Cain didn't offer the first and the best, But that's not what I really want to deal with here. What I want to deal with is here. What this is here. It says, okay, so we know Cain was angry. And it says, "So Cain was very angry and his face fell." That's how he responded to God. It says his face fell. "The Lord said to Cain, 'Why are you angry? And why has your face fallen?' if you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door. Its desire is for you, but you must rule over it. Sin is crouching at the door. And I think what happens is that when a situation don't go our way, situation didn't go your way, Zion. Okay? Things were out of sort. Sin was crouching at your door. Anger was crouching right there. And it's our choice to open that door and choose anger, or we can choose something else. Now, from Dad's perspective, because I was sitting in a position this morning watching all of it, even though you can say that I would identify that yes, Zion should have shown gratitude, but some stuff crouched at your door too. So you're telling me because someone, you feel or someone have done you wrong, you just automatically supposed to respond in anger? Anger was at your door too, and you opened it. Okay? So it was at your door as well. And you opened that door. Okay? Mom, you was justified in checking Zion. You were justified in that. And you had every right to. But would you say that it was some anger at the door that you let in? Okay. So the challenges, and don't act like and y'all know, I'm not sitting up here like I am I'm the perfect dad and I don't get angry. But the thing is that we have choices to make. And I think everyone here made a bad choice with allowing anger to get involved. It's a choice. God told him it was crouching at your door. You see what I'm saying? He told him, he said, and it crouched at his door because things didn't go his way. He was upset. But let's look at what he should have done. Okay, 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7. Now, love is patient and kind. Were you patient and kind? You have to ask yourself in that situation, was everyone? Patience is the key. Remember on the other devotion, when I asked the question, if it's anything about myself I can change, what would it be? I identify I need to be more patient. It's interesting that the first thing it says right there, love is patient. And when we're patient with each other, it makes our environment, it's so easy to work with each other if everybody's patient with each other. And it says, and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable. Irritable. You see what I'm saying? You were irritable because she was wrong, but then you could have combated the wrong with love by not getting irritable, because we don't realize when the best thing the way you resist conflict is with love. But everything in our fallen nature say, no, you've irritated me, okay? And you feel like your irritation is justified. No, that's not love either. You see what I'm saying? So you get irritable, resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. And it's just a lesson learned. There is, you know, we're not a perfect family, but we are being perfected. Because when people see the word perfect in the Bible, and it talks about being perfect as God is perfect, when you look at the root of that word perfect, when you look at the original, what am I saying, Tan? The Greek of the word perfect. When you look at it's to mature, not to be flawless. So we had conflict this morning. So the question is, are we going to mature? You all have heard me give this example. Steph Curry is one of my favorite basketball players. Okay? The dude is the greatest, in my opinion, and his numbers state he is the greatest shooter ever to play in the NBA. The dude be raining threes like crazy. He broke the NBA Finals record, I want to say, this year. He shot like 9 threes in one game. Steph, I think, got over like, for the year, he did 300 one year, 400. I don't know all the numbers. But the dude is phenomenal. You sit and watch him. He just dropping threes. But this is the thing. I watched the game when he went 1 for 9. And if you would have known Steph and saw him go for 1 for 9, can you come out and say, oh, so Steph is a bad shooter because he missed those 8 shots and only hit 1? No. Steph is a great shooter. Why? Because of his percentage of hitting. And he practiced. So when you practice righteousness, there is going to be more righteousness. But you're going to miss sometimes. And it's okay that we miss this morning. It's okay when y'all miss. But what you got to do is practice love. You see what I'm saying? You missed the shot, but you got to, your percentage need to be high. You need to keep practicing righteousness so the righteousness will dominate. Another illustration, y'all know I love analogies or illustrations, parables. That's how Jesus taught. It was a guy, and he had 2 dogs. And he was mastering, he had 2 dogs, and a kid walked up to him and asked him, if your 2 dogs were to get into a fight, which dog would win? And the guy, the master of the 2 dogs, said, the one I feed the most. So we have natures. We have a sin nature. You see what I'm saying? We have that God nature in us. So which one are you feeding the most? That's the one that's going to dominate.
How do you feed it?
You feed it through reading this word and prayer. That's how you feed the spirit, the soul. It's the word, is food for the soul. But what would happen if you didn't eat for like 30 days as a human? If you didn't eat for 2 or 3 months or something, more than likely you would die.
I'm very sick.
Or if you'll be very sick, you'll be close to death. Okay? So what happens if you don't feed your soul for months? You don't read the word. You're not praying. You're not seeking God. What's going to happen? It's like you're spiritually sick. It's like you're the walking dead. It's like you have no power. You have no strength. It's like you're not fueling up. And we all miss it. Our marriage, we've been married, 21 years. What good marriage? Every good marriage, people have arguments. People disagree. Okay? And what makes the marriage mature is that when we have a disagreement, we come, we talk about it. You have those moments when you might just get away, but you talk about it, and you should become stronger because of it. And that's what I want you all to understand. Sibling rivals is nothing new. It's right here in the Bible. You saw it all through the books of the Bible. You look at the bios. I want to say, shoot, like all brothers and sisters was at it. Joshua and
David's sons
David's sons and Absalom and his brother. You had Abimelech and Joseph and his brothers.
Yeah, that was on some extreme stuff.
Joseph and his brothers, they threw him in slavery. You had Jacob, Esau. The Bible says it was wrestling in the womb. So conflict. But we have to choose to walk in love, okay? And you always have to honor your parents and honor your mother. You never talk back to your mother, okay? You always respect your elders. Because I'm gonna say we got the right to get angry. I'm not going to say that's necessarily biblically sound, but even as parents, we all, and when it talks about all of what we all should do, children, respect your parents in the Lord. A father, I shouldn't provoke you all to wrath. I can provoke you all to wrath by not, being a loving father. But we have to understand too that discipline, when we discipline you all, it's love.
Provoking to wrath also refers to us not doing what we're doing right now. Raising them and teaching them, training them in the scriptures and the word of God. That provokes wrath. But one of the things too that I think we, based on what you're saying, I mean, it's a good word. Girls, mainly you, because Kenya, I think I may have gotten on to you too a little bit, but maybe not as much as you, because you had more mouth happening. But I just want to say that my attitude was not the best. And I apologize for my behavior. And it doesn't matter if I was provoked because of disrespect. I needed to handle things a little bit better. I get it. And families with grace, that's what we need to walk in. We need to walk in grace with one another, be more graceful towards each other, opposed to looking at the negative. It was one of my devotions where it talked about what makes you agitated with a person is that you carry a person in your mind and not in your heart.
Say that again now.
What makes you agitated or irritated.
I'm sorry, Tam. Mango back here playing.
I'm surprised he hasn't scratched you.
Hold on.
How come he scratched
I got
you,
mango.
not me? Let your dad get
Okay,
something.
go ahead, man.
All right, what I was saying is what makes a person agitated with someone or aggravated with someone is that you're carrying that person in your mind instead of in your heart. Because when you carry someone in your heart, you operate in love. You have more concern and more care for that person. Whereas if you carry them in your mind, all you're doing is just thinking about the negative, thinking about the problem and the issues that person has. A heart thing, God always tells us to make sure that our heart is right. We got to purify this.
That's heavy. That's heavy. You carry them in your mind and not your heart.
And not only that, but like of course with your family and siblings and stuff, but even with people that you deal with every day. Because I work at a
Speak up a little bit.
I work at a company where people can be so mean and talk down to me like I'm a dog. And like when I say I've been getting so snappy with them, but just having this conversation shows me that even when people take me there, I ain't gotta press the gas to go. Even though they turn my ignition, I can hold that brake. I can hold that brake.
Keep the brake pressed down.
The Beatitudes, that's what Jesus was talking about.
Yeah.
It's easy, to love people who love you. But how much more difficult it is to love your enemy. And that's what's so fascinating about Jesus Christ. He's on the cross, being crucified, praying for the people that's crucified.
Exactly.
And when we're told to pick up our cross, pick up your cross.
It's not
Look,
light.
look.
It's heavy.
It's daily. When I tell you, you die daily to this, because it's one day at a time. And we'll kind of wrap this up. I tell people this, kind of funny. I was telling some kids, I said, let's say if you go to school today, you brush your teeth up and you put the scope or whatever, you wash, you put your goggle real good and you got gum in your mouth, and all day people like, oh, your breath smells so fresh. Your breath smells fresh. So let's say this was Wednesday. Your breath just smells so fresh on Wednesday. So you like, oh, my breath fresh. So what you decide to do, you go home and you say Thursday, you wake up and don't brush your teeth. You don't goggle. And then you go to school and you be like, hello.
All the H words.
How how are you doing? Now, do you think people gonna be like, look, do you think people gonna give you the pass for stank breath because of what? Well, your breath smell good. So
I heard that. That's so mean.
Right, my point.
I didn't say. Go ahead. Finish your point.
My point is that people not gonna say, oh, because your breath smelled good yesterday, I'm gonna give you the pass for it being stank today. So you have to brush your teeth every day. And I mean, it's humorous, but at the same time, my point that I'm making is our walk with Christ is the same way. If you have a good day in God, the next day you still got to get up and pray. You still got to read your word. You can't operate off yesterday goodness. You see what I'm saying? So when you wake up today, you have to die daily. Jesus dealt with that. He said, you have enough challenges in the day to keep you busy. Don't worry about tomorrow, yesterday gone. You are in the present. And as Master Oogway said in what was our
Kung Fu
Panda.
Yeah.
The turtle, he was brilliant. That's Oogway. The present is a present because it is a gift. Okay.
Remember that part when that little thing died and then he was like, I'm not dead, you idiot.
Yeah, we ain't about to go through the whole movie. But I know what you're talking about. That's a good one. But anyway, that's our point today is that when someone angers you, it's a choice. You can open the door like Cain opened that door and embraced it, and he ended up murdering his brother. And keep the door closed. And don't walk in that type of anger.
Good one. Thank you for sharing. Bye.
All right, so next up, we are going, we're going to make a confession. I forgot.
Oh, well then there we go.
All right.
Bring it back. Hello.
Okay, so we're going to all say this together. And you all say it out there with us. Y'all ready? Okay, say this with us. Say, I am patient.
I am patient.
I am kind.
I am kind.
I do not envy.
I do not envy.
I do not boast.
I do not boast.
I am not arrogant.
I am not arrogant.
Or rude.
Or rude.
I don't insist on my own way.
I don't insist on my own way.
I am not irritable.
I am not irritable.
Or resentful.
Or resentful.
I do not rejoice in wrongdoing.
I do not rejoice in wrongdoing.
I rejoice in the truth.
I rejoice in the truth.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. Now for Mango, we need to pray for Mango because he
Stretch forth your hands.
he ain't walking in love. Is that love right there? All right, we about to go to our music piece on Deep Dishes. Y'all be good. Walk in love.
We serve a God who is mighty,
Yes.
and He is worthy of praise. And today we're just going to sing and declare that our God is greater. Amen. this. Our God is greater.
Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power